Hey, Service Advisor Nation, welcome to another episode of the AutoFix-Advisor cast. Hope everyone is doing well and is healthy as well. Today, I wanted to talk about two primary things. One was estimates for new customers calling your shop for an estimate. And a lot of shops, I believe, are not providing estimates these days over the phone to people that want to get the vehicle in first. And I'm conflicted about that because I feel that's a great way to lose a new customer, but it's also manageable. And the reason I say that is, you know, I think knowing what service they're looking for is going to dictate if you can give them an estimate over the phone or not, or email them an estimate. But again, I mean, when somebody's calling in, the answer is yes. We want to capture their business. We want to help them out. And I know that everyone is not your customer, and we can talk about how to identify that. But again, I think just for some shops that are just saying, no, we won't give you an estimate over the phone, we have to have the vehicle here. Again, I think it's really situational on what you can and cannot provide an estimate for over the phone for somebody. So, case in point, I used to get phone calls pretty early in the morning on a Monday morning, or we'd have voicemails from over the weekend, emails from over the weekend, walking into the shop Monday morning pretty early before we get set up and ready for the day. But, you know, case in point, hey, I have a XYZ and I just need, I'm looking for a price on a brake fluid service or brake fluid flush. So normally that's a canned job for most shops, but also it depends on. So, if someone's asking me for, hey, I just, I'm new to the area, I've got an XYZ and I just want to get a quote on a brake fluid service or brake fluid flush. So my first question to that person is going to be, is that something that you're looking to do as just a standard service maintenance? It's due every 2 years, or is there a issue with the vehicle that you feel that is going to take care of? And again, it's qualifying questions. Early in my career, I think I got burned a little bit by not asking those. And, someone would come in for, a brake fluid flush. Technician would, get the car back there, start working on it, and then say, hey, the pedals kind of sinking to the floor, and call the client up and say, hey, we're in the process of doing your brake fluid flush and the pedals kind of sinking to the floor. Is that something you're already aware of? Well, yeah, that's why I brought it in. That's why I wanted a brake fluid flush. And it's like, oh crap, no, that's not going to fix that. So again, you get in the mind frame after a while of asking qualifying questions. Another one, if somebody calls up and says, I've got an XYZ vehicle and, I've got it over at Hoboscoach Jones Automotive, down the street. And they're telling me that, I just need to have the spark plugs replaced. I just need a quote. I just need a quote on spark plugs replacement. Again, you need to ask qualifying question. Are you looking to have those done just service maintenance, or is there an issue with the vehicle that you believe replacing those spark plugs is going to fix? And when they answer you, it's going to be service or maintenance, or they're going to say, well, no, my check engine light's on and the car's running rough and they told me I need spark plugs. Okay, well, that is not something that you're going to be able to quote over the phone. That is something that you're going to need to use, your knowledge base on and explain to them that it may be the spark plugs, it may not be the spark plugs. But again, in the effort of helping the client or current, trying to get the new client in the door, you could give them a range of what they're looking for, provided they give you the year, make, model correctly, the VIN number. I've often found times when people call for an estimate, they're not prepared. They don't have the VIN number. And you have to explain to them that, I mean, that's the vehicle's DNA, right? I mean, we need that to be able to break down what's going on. And sometimes it's a little bit of a battle. Well, I don't understand. I called this other shop and they were just able to give me a quote. Okay, well, that's not how we do it here. And here's why we don't do it like that. There's too many variables, right? We need to know the engine code. We need to know exactly what, trim model, etc. I mean, there's so many variables that go into doing an estimate correctly. But, again, asking qualifying questions. I've had people in the past call up and, hey, I've got a Toyota FJ. I just want to get a quote on doing a front differential service, and again, my question to that individual is, are you looking to do that as just a preventative maintenance, or is there an issue going on with the vehicle that you feel that's going to fix? And to the best of my recollection, that individual said, okay, well, yeah, it's making a noise. It's making a growling noise in the differential area. and I just want to get a fluid service done. And, that conversation turns into, we're not going to just do a fluid service. We need to drain the fluid. We need to inspect it. We need to identify what's causing the issue. And you, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, will likely be prepared for paying for a diagnostic. It's going to go a little bit further than that. I've gotten the call of, hey, I've got a 2018 BMW X5 35i, their dreaded B58 motor engine. And, hey, I got it again at Hoboscoach Jones Automotive, and they're telling me that the radiator is leaking. So I just need to get a quote on replacing the radiator. Mind blown, and you let them know that there's actually 6 radiators for that vehicle's engine. And which one in particular are we talking about, Mr. Customer? I don't know. They just told me the radiator is leaking. Okay, well, was this something that was discovered on you getting an oil service? Did the vehicle overheat? Well, yeah, the car overheated. Okay, well, let me explain why we need to get the vehicle to the shop and check it out, and also, prepare that person, especially with a coolant issue, that until you can identify and fix what's leaking first, there's no way to pressure test the rest of the system, and that it is very possible that you are going to have another coolant leak. And be prepared for that. It's never a one and done on these BMWs, unfortunately, with the not so great cooling systems. But again, I think it's I'm not gonna say rude, but not helpful, right? If you're that shop that is, you know or that service advisor that is saying, I can't give you a quote over the phone, and that really just locks out that phone call, that opportunity for that new client, looking to use your shop to feel you out, and they're not going to call you back after that because you didn't help them. And helping them doesn't have to be giving them an estimate, but it could be, again, asking qualifying questions and getting to the root of what is going on. And if it really is just, a service or maintenance, quote it to them. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of the Asian vehicles, they don't have as many brake package options as the BMWs and the Audis do, and the Mercedes do. Slotted, is it vented, different millimeter sizes, caliper sizes, etc. AMG, non-AMG. I mean, really, with a Lexus product, is it a F Sport, etc. But if you can give them a roundabout and at least get them an estimate so that they can come to your shop and experience how you do customer service. And again, that's really what it is. When they're calling you for an estimate and their car hasn't been there before, it's customer service. It's not saying, no, we don't do estimates over the phone. That's going to lose you a new customer every time. Be more open-minded. And again, ask qualifying questions. And if you're not able to give them an estimate, or call them back with an estimate, or text them an estimate, or email them an estimate, let them know why. Not just, no, we don't do that. I mean, it doesn't sound customer friendly. The second part of it, which I think is really important, is, and I don't think a lot of places are using it or doing it, it's actually a really great tool. It's called Loom. Loom Video, just LOOM.com. This is a screen recording that you can make, and I think it's drastically going to cut down your time of re-engaging with the client. And the reason I say that is, my mindset was, hey, I would prepare an estimate, I would email it to the client, and say in the email, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, please review this, call me back with any questions, right? Text it to them, same thing, hey, please review this estimate, let me know if you have any questions. Or call them. And if you get the voicemail, right, leave them a voicemail that typically can be 1 to 2 minutes. And then as soon as you hang up that phone, what happens? Murphy's Law. They call you right back. Hey, I'm just calling you back. Great. Did you hear my voicemail? No, I never listened to it. And you got to go over it again and over it again. So Loom Video, what that's going to do for you, for service advisors out there, is it's going to allow you to, when you're doing the estimate for the client, right? I think it's threefold. It's got to be customized. And what I mean by that is this: use Loom Video, and we'll talk about it here. So again, it's got to be customized. It's got to be purposeful. And as far as purposeful goes, we're talking about full of meaning, okay? And it's got to be engaging. It's got to be likable, right? That estimate. And how do we do that? How do we accomplish that for clients that we're sending estimates to, whether they're new clients or new clients or existing clients? So again, from an estimate standpoint, mindset shift. I'm not going to say that 3 times fast. Again, customized, purposeful, and engaging. So how do we do that, right? So when we're done with the estimate, we go to loom.com, we shoot a quick little video, and we explain in that video about their estimate. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, I just want to say thank you again for bringing in your Mercedes today. We had John in the back check it out. And yes, I do understand that, some shops are having the technicians do videos of what's going on with the vehicle. But I will be honest with you, that's not who's really interfacing with the client. The customer service rep, the service advisor, I feel that's who should be doing the videos, right? If the technician wants to do a video and we want to share that on there as well, then that's great. But again, the customer is engaging with you, the service advisor. They want to hear what you have to say about it, right? Again, you're the face of the business. You're in customer service. You're dealing with them. So again, hey, do that Loom video, Mr. and Mrs. Jones. Thank you again for dropping off your Mercedes today. We had John in the back check it out. And here are some things, areas of concern, right? And go over the estimate, right, in that Loom video. So again, the customized part, do the Loom video. The purposeful part, build full of meaning, right? So when you're leaving somebody a voicemail, when you're texting, when you're emailing them, there's really no connection there. I mean, it's just it's information, which is great. You're transferring information, but it's just that. There's nothing else behind it. And what I mean by the full of meaning is, you're getting your emotion about it, right? And we have to be emotional about some of these cars because it's important that they understand how important it is to fix some of these things that they may not know about. And when you're talking about that and you're passionate about it, and some people use their hands when they talk. I do that sometimes. Some people don't. But again, be creative, be custom, be personalized, right? When you're doing that video, I'm so glad that you brought that car in today. We checked out your brakes, and before you go on this trip, I really would recommend that you get those brakes replaced. Right now, you're at 2 millimeters of life left, and here's what that means. And break it down for them, right? And they're hearing you, right? They're hearing your concern, they're hearing your tonality, and when they see that video, that it's gonna be different for them because they're used to not seeing that. They're used to not hearing that, right? And again, the engagement part of it, it's likable. They're seeing you, they're hearing you, and I think that's really going to work out well for you. Is doing a Loom video and sending the link to that Loom with your estimate. So again, I implore you to check it out. So it's just Loom, LOOM.com. It's an easy setup, and just shoot a couple, get used to it, whatever. But it's pretty user friendly. And again, for every video that you shoot, you can do a little link and just copy that link, put it in with their estimate, that you're going to text them, that you're going to email them. And when that video pops up and they're able to play that video of you talking about their estimate, and of course, let them know, hey, if you have any further questions, call me back. But again, just that raw video of you talking about their vehicle, the customized part of that, right? The connection, the feel, the care, right? I mean, it's got to go deeper than just them getting their car fixed. And when they feel that personalization, that connection, that is what keeps them coming back, right? And I guarantee that they have not had somebody send them a Loom video. Well, I can't guarantee that, but probably not. So I think, again, that would be a really useful tool for a service advisor. And when you're shooting these videos, you know, don't do it up front where there's a lot of people coming in and out, phones ringing, stuff like that, interruptions. If you've got an office you can do it in, it doesn't have to be super lengthy, but again, just really encapsulating what's going on with the vehicle, what you really feel super important that they do. Here's the reason why. But, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, again, check out this video, look at the estimate, let me know if you have any questions. But, if you don't, if you'd like to proceed, please authorize jobs X, Y, and Z. And, I'll keep you updated. So, again, just really just personal connection there. So I think it's super important to build that relationship. And it's another great relationship building tool. And it saves you time. That was the other part of it. It saves you so much time because you're not having to wait for them to call you back, or they call you back and they didn't hear your voice, they didn't listen to your voicemail, things of that nature. So it's a time saver as well. And that is something that I need to get better at using, but I've become more comfortable with it. It's kind of weird, right? You shoot this video and you play it back. It's just you, but again, it's for your clients, and I think it'll go a long way. Please try it out. I promise you, it'll be a good step in not only capturing more business, but again, building that relationship with your client, and they're going to love it. So give it a shot. But again, estimates, situational. Again, not everybody's your client. If they've called 16 different shops and they're just, just give me a price, just give me a number, you can kind of feel it out, right? If it's going to be a good fit or not. But again, always try and help the person that's asking for an estimate. Don't just shut them down. We don't do estimates over the phone. We need to get your car in the shop first. Depends on what it is. But again, qualifying questions, ask more than just what they're asking you for. What's the reason? Is it a service maintenance? Just looking to get it done as a service maintenance, as a case service, as preventative maintenance, your condition-based service indicator says that this is due, or is there an issue with the car that you feel this is going to fix? And that's when they start opening up, right? And then more dialogue comes in and you can kind of take it from there. But again, if it's just easy peasy service maintenance stuff, give them a quote. Why not? And again, shoot that Loom video, send that out with a link, get their information, and let them know. Again, you need the VIN number. It's kind of dead in the water unless you know the VIN number. So Loom videos, along with your estimates, keep kicking butt, keep building customer relationships, and Service Advisor Nation, appreciate you. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of the AutoFix Advisor Cast. All right, take it easy.